All right, so everyone get ready because today we're doing a deep dive into migraines.
Yeah,
It's
migraines.
something that a lot of you have asked us to break down,
Right.
and we're going straight to the source with information from the Mayo Clinic and Migraine and Headache Australia.
Those are great sources.
Yeah, but don't worry, we're
Yeah,
going to keep it real world.
right.
No medical jargon overload here.
Exactly. We're aiming for understand your migraine, not pass a neurology exam.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
So, first things first.
Yeah.
Um, Most folks have heard of the four stages of a migraine: prodrome, aura, headache, and postdrome.
Right.
But not everyone experiences all of them.
That's right. And that's one of the reasons that migraines are so tricky.
Yeah.
But here's a fascinating tidbit.
Okay.
Migraines aren't just a bad headache.
Oh,
They're actually a neurological disorder that affects your whole nervous system.
wait, seriously?
Yeah.
My whole nervous system goes haywire because of a migraine.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah. It's a full body experience.
Okay, let's back up a sec.
Okay.
For someone who's never experienced one,
Right.
what does a migraine feel like?
Right.
Is it just a supercharged headache?
Well, imagine a throbbing pain, usually on one side of your head, so intense that it makes a normal headache feel like a gentle breeze.
Hmm.
And light, sound, even smells.
Yeah.
They all become just unbearable.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a step beyond my usual need more coffee headache.
Uh-huh.
So we've got the pain down.
Right.
But you mentioned other
And yes.
less obvious symptoms too, right?
Yes.
What's going on in that mysterious prodrome phase?
Well, think of prodrome like your body trying to send you a cryptic warning message.
Wow.
It's subtle stuff. Maybe you're super irritable 1 minute,
Yeah.
craving chocolate the next,
Oh, yeah.
or yawning like you haven't slept in days.
Hmm.
Most people don't even connect these things to an upcoming migraine.
So you're saying I could be getting ready for a migraine and not even know it?
Exactly.
That's sneaky.
Yeah.
And what about aura?
Yeah.
That almost mythical phase.
Auras where things get really wild.
Okay.
Not everyone experiences it,
Okay.
but it's basically like your brain is playing visual tricks on you.
Uh-huh.
Imagine seeing shimmering zigzags, flashes of light,
Hmm.
or even temporarily losing part of your vision.
Whoa, temporary vision loss.
Yeah,
That's kind of terrifying.
it can be. Yeah.
Are there other types of aura
Yes,
besides the visual ones?
definitely.
Oh.
Some people get tingling in their limbs, have trouble speaking,
Mm-hmm.
or even feel like they're suddenly surrounded by weird smell.
Yeah.
It's like a neurological fun house,
Yeah.
but not the fun kind.
Okay, sensory overload is officially on the migraine bingo card.
Yeah.
So you go through all of that,
Right.
and then there's the postdrome phase, right?
Yep. The dreaded migraine hangover.
Right.
This is where you feel drained,
Yeah.
mentally foggy,
Yeah.
and generally, it's like your brain ran a marathon and now needs a serious nap.
Man, migraines sound like a real roller coaster ride for your system.
They are.
So what causes this whole neurological party to get started in the first place?
Well, the exact causes are still a bit of a mystery,
Right.
which is frustrating, I know.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a genetic component.
Okay.
If migraines run in your family,
Yeah.
you're more likely to experience them too.
So it's like inheriting your mom's blue eyes
Exactly.
or your dad's uncanny ability to win at trivia night.
Uh-huh.
It's in the genes.
Right.
Anything else playing a role here?
Gender is a big one.
Okay.
Women are 3 times more likely to have migraines than men.
3 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Likely due to hormonal fluctuation.
So hormones are definitely a major player in the migraine game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And here's another interesting link. Research has shown that folks who deal with depression, anxiety, or even have a history of childhood trauma
Yeah.
are also at a higher risk for migraines.
That's heavy stuff.
It is.
It really shows how interconnected our mental and physical well-being are, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Migraines are a perfect example of how our brains and bodies are constantly talking to each other,
Right.
for better or for worse.
Speaking of for better or for worse, let's talk about triggers.
Yes.
I know there's
Yeah.
tons of things that can supposedly set off a migraine.
Right.
Where do we even start with that list?
Well, the first rule of Migraine Trigger Club is everyone's triggers are different.
Okay.
What sends one person running for a dark room might not phase another at all.
Okay, so personalizing this is key.
Yes.
What are some of the most common culprits, though?
Well, the usual suspects are
Yeah.
stress, messed up sleep schedules, and skipping meals.
Hmm.
Basically anything that throws your body off balance.
Makes sense. So taking care of your basic needs is the
Yeah.
foundation of migraine management.
It is.
But what about more specific triggers?
Well, for some people, it's sensory overload. Think flashing lights, loud noises, or strong perfumes.
Right.
Then there's weather changes, physical exertion,
Mm.
and of course, the infamous food triggers.
Ah, yes. Food triggers.
Right.
I've heard tales of aged cheese and chocolate being the ultimate migraine villains.
They can be for some people.
Right.
Wine, processed foods, anything with MSG.
Yeah.
Those are also common offenders.
Mm.
And if you're struggling to pinpoint your triggers,
Yeah.
an elimination diet can be a helpful tool, though sometimes frustrating.
So you cut out certain foods
Yes.
and then slowly reintroduce them to see what happens.
Exactly.
Sounds like a culinary detective mission.
It is.
Okay, so we've got the lowdown on triggers.
Right.
But are all migraines created equal?
That's a good question.
Are there different types of migraines?
Oh, yeah. There are quite a few variations on the migraine theme.
Okay.
For example, there's menstrual migraine,
Okay.
which tends to strike right before or during your period,
Right.
thanks to those hormonal shifts we talked about.
Ah, so your hormones are basically playing a cruel prank on you every month.
It can feel that way, yes.
What other interesting types are there?
Well, there's vestibular migraine,
Okay.
where the main symptom is dizziness and vertigo,
Mhm.
sometimes without even a headache.
Wait, seriously? You can have a migraine without head pain?
Yeah,
That's mind-blowing.
it is, yeah.
Wow.
And then there's abdominal migraine,
Okay.
which mainly affects kids.
Right.
Instead of head pain.
Yeah.
They get stomach aches and nausea.
Wow. So many ways a migraine can mess with you.
Right.
It really makes you realize that paying attention to your body signals is crucial.
It is.
A headache isn't always just a headache.
Exactly. It's about listening to what your body's trying to tell you.
Okay, so we've painted a pretty vivid picture of what migraines are all about.
I think so.
Now, the big question is,
Yeah.
what can you actually do about them?
Right.
Is there hope for relief?
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be diving into next. We'll explore the different ways to manage migraines and reclaim your life.
Stay tuned, folks, because up next, we'll be arming you with the knowledge to fight back against those migraine monsters.
That's right. Welcome back to our migraine deep dive. We've just explored what migraines are all about, and now it's time to tackle the big question. How do you fight back?
Right, because knowing your enemy is only half the battle. What are our weapons of choice when it comes to migraine management?
Well, medication is often the first line of defense, but it's not as simple as just taking a pill and calling it a day. There are different types of meds for different purposes, and finding the right approach is a bit like solving a puzzle.
Okay, so puzzle-solving skills are officially a must-have for migraine sufferers. What are the main pieces of this medication puzzle?
Well, we have two main categories: acute medications, which you take at the first sign of a migraine attack, and preventive medications, which you take regularly to try and reduce the frequency and severity of those attacks.
So acute meds are like your emergency response team, and preventative meds are your long-term strategy.
Exactly. Let's start with the acute medications. These are the ones designed to stop a migraine in its tracks, or at least lessen its impact.
So it's like hitting that migraine with a pause button, or at least turning down the volume a bit.
Exactly. One of the most common types of acute medication is triptans. Think of them as serotonin superheroes.
Serotonin superheroes. Now we're talking. What do these superheroes do?
Well, serotonin is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in lots of things, including regulating blood vessels in the brain. When a migraine hits, those blood vessels can dilate, causing that throbbing pain. Triptans swoop in and tell those blood vessels to chill out, helping to reduce the pain.
So it's like they're putting a gentle squeeze on those overexcited blood vessels.
Exactly. Now, another option is NSAIDs, like ibuprofen or naproxen. These are your everyday pain relievers, but they can also be helpful for migraines. They work by tackling inflammation, which is often a key player in the migraine pain party.
Ah, so they're like the anti-inflammatory bouncers at the migraine party, keeping things from getting too out of control.
Exactly. And then for some folks, anti-nausea medications can be a lifesaver, especially if nausea and vomiting are major symptoms.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough.
Yeah.
So those are the big players in the acute medication game. But what about the preventative side of things?
Preventive medications are all about playing the long game. They're taken regularly, even when you don't have a migraine, to try and reduce the number of attacks you get or make them less intense.
So it's like building up your defenses against future migraine attacks.
Exactly. One type of preventive medication is beta blockers, which were originally developed to treat high blood pressure. They also happen to work on blood vessels in the brain, keeping them stable and less likely to dilate.
So they're like the Zen masters of your blood vessels, teaching them to stay calm and collected.
Love that analogy. Now, another option is antidepressants. And before you think, wait, I'm not depressed, it's important to remember that these medications work on multiple levels in the brain.
Right. It's not about treating depression in this case,
Mm.
but rather tapping into their ability to regulate certain brain chemicals that also play a role in migraines.
Exactly. They can help stabilize serotonin and other neurotransmitters that get out of whack during a migraine. And then there's Botox, which might sound surprising.
Botox. Wait, seriously. As in the wrinkle smoothing stuff.
The very same. It's actually been shown to be quite effective for preventing chronic migraines. We're still not 100% sure how it works, but it seems to interfere with pain signals, preventing them from reaching the brain.
So it's like setting up a roadblock for those pesky pain signals.
Exactly. Pretty impressive for a treatment that started out fighting wrinkles.
Right. Talk about a career change. Okay, so we've got beta blockers, antidepressants, Botox. Are there any other preventive options out there?
There are anti-seizure medications, for example, can sometimes help with migraines. They work by calming overactive nerve cells in the brain, which we believe play a role in migraine attacks.
They're like the peacekeepers in your brain, making sure those neurons don't get too riled up.
Exactly. And there's even a newer class of medications specifically designed to target a protein called CGRP, which is a major player in the migraine process.
CGRP. Sounds like a secret code. What's so special about this protein?
Well, without getting too technical, CGRP is involved in transmitting pain signals and making those blood vessels dilate. These new drugs essentially block CGRP, preventing it from doing its migraine-causing mischief.
So it's like they're disarming the migraine bomb before it can explode.
Exactly. These CGRP targeting medications are really promising for both prevention and treatment.
Wow. It sounds like there are a lot of exciting developments in the world of migraine medication.
Mm.
But we know medication is just one part of the story, right? Lifestyle changes are important too.
Absolutely. Medication can do a lot, but it can't do everything. Think of it like this. Medication is like having a good mechanic for your car, but you still need to make sure you're putting in the right fuel and keeping up with regular maintenance.
Right, it's about taking care of your whole system, not just treating the symptoms. And remember that handy acronym we mentioned, SEEDS.
Of course. Sleep, eat, exercise, diary, stress. Let's unpack each of those a bit more.
Okay, let's start with sleep. I know a good night's rest is essential for pretty much everything, but how does it specifically impact migraines?
Well, sleep is like a reset button for your brain and body. It allows your nervous system to calm down, repair itself, and get ready for another day. When you don't get enough sleep or your sleep is disrupted, your nervous system gets thrown off balance, making you more susceptible to migraines.
So a consistent sleep schedule is like giving your brain the chill time it needs to avoid those migraine meltdowns.
Exactly. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, and try to stick to a regular sleep-wake cycle, even on weekends.
All right, no more late-night Netflix binges, got it.
Yeah.
What about the E for eat? What's the link between food and migraines?
Well, just like with sleep, consistency is key. Skipping meals or eating erratically can mess with your blood sugar levels, which can trigger migraines for some people.
So keeping your blood sugar stable is like providing a steady energy supply for your brain, preventing those migraine power outages.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of food sensitivities. Certain foods can trigger migraines in some individuals, although the specific culprits vary from person to person.
Right, it's like those foods are sending your brain a coded message that it just doesn't understand. And the response is a migraine.
That's a great way to put it. Identifying and avoiding those trigger foods is key for some people.
Okay, so paying attention to both the timing and content of your meals is crucial. What about the D for diary? Why is keeping a migraine diary so important?
Think of your migraine diary as your personal detective notebook. By carefully tracking your attacks, you can start to uncover clues about your individual triggers and patterns.
So you'd note down things like the date and time of your migraine, what you ate that day, how much sleep you got,
Yeah,
your stress levels.
exactly. And don't forget to record any unusual symptoms or sensations you experienced before, during, or after the attack. This information can be super valuable for your doctor as well.
Right, it helps them see the bigger picture. And tailor your treatment plan accordingly. Okay, so we've got sleep, eating, and the diary down. What about E for exercise? How does physical activity factor into the migraine equation?
This one can be a bit tricky. Because for some people, intense exercise can actually trigger a migraine. It's like their brain says, whoa, hold on, too much.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where you're moving your body without pushing it over the edge.
Exactly. Regular moderate exercise, like brisk walking, swimming, or yoga, can be incredibly helpful for managing migraines. It helps reduce stress, improves sleep, and promotes overall well-being, all of which can help keep migraines at bay.
Okay, so we're not talking about training for marathon here. We're rather finding enjoyable ways to move your body regularly. Got it. Now, last but not least, we have S for stress. I think we all know stress is bad, but how does it specifically contribute to migraines?
Well, when you're stressed, your body goes into fight or flight mode, releasing a cascade of hormones and neurochemicals that can make your nervous system more sensitive and prone to migraines.
So stress is like turning up the volume on your migraine sensitivity.
Exactly. That's why managing stress is crucial for migraine sufferers.
Okay. But stress is a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just avoid it completely, right?
Absolutely. It's more about finding healthy ways to cope with stress. Things like meditation, mindfulness, yoga, spending time in nature, or even just taking a few deep breaths can make a world of difference.
So it's about having those go-to stress-busting tools in your arsenal to help you stay calm and centered, even when life throws you curveballs.
Exactly. It's about building resilience and finding that inner peace that can help you navigate the ups and downs of life without triggering a migraine.
All right, so we've covered medication and lifestyle changes. But what about those other therapies we mentioned earlier, like acupuncture, massage, and chiropractic care? Do those actually work for migraines?
They can. These complementary therapies can be a great addition to your migraine management plan, especially when used in conjunction with medication and lifestyle changes.
Okay, but how do they work? Do we have any scientific evidence to back them up?
The research is still evolving, and we're learning more all the time. But there's growing evidence to suggest that these therapies can have a positive impact on migraines, potentially by influencing the nervous system, reducing inflammation, and promoting relaxation.
Okay, let's break them down one by one. Starting with acupuncture, I'm always curious about that one. What's the thought process behind sticking needles into your body to relieve a headache?
It might sound counterintuitive, but acupuncture is based on the ancient Chinese practice of stimulating specific points on the body to balance energy flow and promote healing.
Okay, but how does that translate to migraine relief?
Well, it's thought that acupuncture might help reduce inflammation, release endorphins, our body's natural painkillers, and calm overactive nerves, all of which could contribute to fewer and less severe migraines.
Interesting. So it's like sending calming signals to your nervous system through those strategically placed needles.
Exactly. And for some people, it really works. Now, massage is another great option. It's incredibly effective for relieving muscle tension, which, as we know, can be a major migraine trigger.
Right, because when your muscles are tight and tense, it can put pressure on nerves and blood vessels, potentially contributing to head pain and other migraine symptoms.
Exactly. Massage can help loosen those muscles, reduce tension, and promote relaxation, which can help alleviate migraine.
Okay, that makes sense. What about chiropractic care? What's the thinking there?
Chiropractic care focuses on the alignment of the spine and how it affects the nervous system.
So the idea is that misalignments in the spine can put pressure on nerves, leading to pain and other problems, including migraines.
Exactly. Some chiropractors believe that these misalignments can disrupt nerve signals and contribute to migraines. By using manual adjustments to realign the spine, they aim to reduce nerve pressure and hopefully prevent migraines.
So it's like giving your spine a tune-up to make sure everything's running smoothly and those nerve signals are flowing freely.
Exactly. And for some people, chiropractic care can be a helpful part of their migraine management plan.
All right, so we've got acupuncture, massage, chiropractic care. Are there any other complementary therapies worth mentioning?
There's one more I think is fascinating: biofeedback.
Okay, biofeedback. That one always sounds a bit like science fiction to me. What's it all about?
It's actually not that complicated. It's a technique that helps you gain more awareness and control over your body's physiological processes.
Okay, that sounds kind of vague. How does it actually work?
Well, during a biofeedback session, you're connected to sensors that monitor things like your muscle tension, heart rate, and skin temperature. You're basically getting real-time feedback on what's happening inside your body.
So you can see how your body reacts to stress,
Yeah,
even if you're not consciously aware of it.
exactly. And then, with the help of a therapist, you learn techniques to consciously control those processes.
So for example, if you notice your muscle tension spiking when you're stressed, you can learn techniques to relax those muscles and hopefully prevent a migraine.
Precisely. It's about learning to recognize those early warning signs and taking steps to intervene before a migraine takes hold.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's like becoming a superhero of your own body.
Exactly. Biofeedback empowers you to take control of your internal environment and create a more balanced state.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Medication, lifestyle changes, complementary therapies. It seems like there's no one-size-fits-all approach to migraines.
Absolutely not. Every migraine is unique, just like every person is unique. It's about finding what works for you. And that often involves a combination of different approaches.
Right. It's about creating a personalized migraine management plan that addresses your individual needs and triggers.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that it's a journey, not a quick fix. It might take some time, some trial and error to find the right combination of treatments.
So what's the most important advice you can give to someone who's struggling with migraines?
First and foremost, don't give up. There is help available. And you don't have to suffer in silence. Keep a migraine diary. Learn your triggers. And work with your doctor to find the right treatment plan for you.
And don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, right? Make sure you're getting the care and support you need.
Absolutely. Your health and well-being are worth fighting for.
Okay. Before we move on, are there any other insights about migraine treatment that you think our listeners should know?
Well, one thing that's really important to understand is that migraine treatment is often a process of trial and error. It might take some experimenting to find the right combination of treatments that work for you.
Right. It's not always a quick fix. Patience and persistence are key.
Exactly. And remember,
Yeah.
you're not alone in this journey. There are millions of people around the world who experience migraines, and there are resources and support systems available to help you navigate this complex condition.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground on migraine treatment.
We have, but there's one more fascinating aspect of migraines that we need to explore: their connection to other health conditions.
Oh, right. We touched on that earlier. It seems like migraines are linked to everything from depression to heart disease.
Exactly. And understanding those connections can be really key to managing migraine effectively.
Okay. Well, let's take a closer look at those fascinating links in our next segment. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back to unravel the mysteries of migraine and its impact on overall health. Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. We've explored what migraines feel like, the possible causes, and even some ways to manage them. But now we're getting into the really intriguing stuff,
Right.
the connection between migraines and other health conditions.
Yeah, it's like migraines are part of a bigger puzzle,
Yeah.
and understanding these connections can help us see the whole picture of someone's health.
Right. It's not just about that head pain anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking potential links to everything from mental health to heart disease,
Right.
which is kind of mind-blowing.
It is. Let's start with one of the strongest links: mental health conditions,
Okay.
especially depression and anxiety.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier,
Yeah.
but it's worth diving deeper. Why is there such a strong correlation between migraines and these mental health challenges?
Well, there are a few theories, but one is that they might share some of the same underlying brain chemistry. Okay.
Particularly when it comes to a neurotransmitter called serotonin.
Right. Serotonin is often called the happy hormone
Yeah.
because it plays a role in mood regulation, right?
Exactly. And when serotonin levels are off kilter,
Mm-hmm.
it can contribute to both migraines and mood disorders like depression and anxiety.
So it's possible that people who are prone to migraines might also be more susceptible to these mood challenges because of how their brains are wired.
That's one way to think about it, and it seems to go both ways.
Yeah.
People with depression or anxiety may also be more likely to experience migraines.
It's like a two-way street, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This really highlights how important it is to treat the whole person,
Yes.
not just the individual symptoms, right?
Absolutely. Addressing both the physical and emotional aspects of migraines is key to finding lasting relief. Now, another interesting connection is between migraines and sleep disorders,
Okay.
particularly insomnia.
That makes sense. If you're dealing with head pain and sensitivity to light and sound, getting a good night's sleep is probably pretty tough. Right. But the relationship goes deeper than that.
Okay.
It seems that migraines and insomnia might share some of the same neurological pathways,
Mm-hmm.
meaning there is a deeper connection within the brain.
So it's not just a simple case of, I have a migraine, therefore I can't sleep. It's more like both conditions are stemming from a shared dysfunction in the brain.
Exactly. And this is why getting good sleep is so crucial for managing migraines.
Right.
If you can improve your sleep quality, you might be able to reduce both the frequency and intensity of your migraine attacks.
Okay, so we've got the mental health link and the sleep connection. What else is on the migraine connection list?
Believe it or not, there's a link between migraines and certain gastrointestinal issues,
Okay.
particularly irritable bowel syndrome or IBS.
Really? What's the connection there?
It all comes back to the gut-brain connection. You know how people talk about the gut as our second brain?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Well, there's actually a whole network of nerves in our gut that communicates with our brain. And it seems that dysfunction in this gut-brain connection could contribute to both migraines and IBS.
So if your gut is sending stressed out signals to your brain, it could potentially trigger a migraine in susceptible individuals.
Exactly. This highlights the importance of taking care of your gut health if you have migraines.
Right.
Things like dietary changes, probiotics, and stress management techniques can all be helpful.
Wow, who knew gut health could play a role in migraines? This is fascinating.
Alrighty.
Okay, we've covered mental health, sleep, gut health. Are there any other big connections we should be aware of?
There's one more that's really important to mention.
Yep.
The link between migraine and cardiovascular disease,
Okay.
particularly stroke.
Stroke, that sounds serious.
It is. Research has shown that having migraines,
Okay.
especially migraines with aura, can increase the risk of stroke,
Wow.
particularly in women.
I had no idea there was such a connection. Why is that?
Well, the exact reasons are still being studied, but it seems that migraines might involve changes in blood vessels and blood flow in the brain,
Okay.
which could potentially increase the risk of stroke.
So it's not just about head pain. Migraines could be a sign of something more serious going on within the brain and cardiovascular system.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about your migraine history,
Right.
especially if you have other risk factors for stroke, like high blood pressure or family history.
This is all incredible information.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you realize that migraines are so much more than just a bad headache. They're a complex neurological condition with potential implications for our overall health.
Absolutely. And this just emphasizes the importance of seeking medical attention if you're experiencing migraines. It's not about toughing it out or just masking the symptoms.
Yeah.
It's about getting a proper diagnosis and working with your doctor to develop a comprehensive treatment plan
Right.
that addresses all aspects of your health.
Right, because that plan might involve addressing those other health issues that could be contributing to your migraines.
Exactly. It's all about taking a holistic approach and recognizing that our bodies are incredibly interconnected.
Right.
What affects one system can often affect others.
Well, I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today. This deep dive into migraines has been incredibly eye-opening for me, and I hope it's been the same for our listener.
Me too. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And I hope this information empowers our listener to take control of their health, seek help when needed, and never underestimate the complexity of the human body.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listener with one final thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
Given the intricate connection between migraines and the nervous system, could understanding and managing migraines better hold the key to unlocking new insights into other neurological conditions?
It's a brilliant question. And it's one that researchers are actively exploring. The more we learn about migraines, the more we realize how much they can teach us about the brain and the nervous system as a whole.
It's like migraines are giving us a glimpse into the inner workings of our most vital organ.
Exactly. And we're just beginning to unravel the mysteries they hold.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those fascinating possibilities. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of migraines. We hope you learned something new and feel empowered to take charge of your health.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those migraines at bay.